Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Ferrum Wrestling 411. I'm your host, Gary Holden, Assistant AD and Sports Information Director. With me as always is Head Wrestling Coach Nate Yetzer. Nate, welcome back.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
We're a month into the school year.
Yep.
Tell me how things have been going for you.
Good. We just got our first progress reports back on how the guys are doing. They did a good job academically. The freshmen, you always worry about like being away from home the first time and how they're doing. And for the most part, they've been doing excellent. So, very, very good job. So
They seem to be meshing in fairly well with your upper class wrestlers. I noticed I see them out playing ultimate frisbee and hanging out together and everything. They just seem like they've become a pretty cohesive unit.
Yep, they're getting pretty tight knit, which is important. And it's only going to get better too as we, obviously start traveling and all that together.
Sure.
You start getting the official practices, which start October 10th.
October 10th. So we're about 12 days away from that and everything.
Can't wait.
You're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, we are, man. We're excited. So the guys are in the middle right now, starting to get certified. And we try to get that. I like them all done by, the first day of practice. Obviously, by October 10th is the goal, and it looks like what I got from yesterday, I have to go in and approve them, getting certified, and it looks like about half our team are already certified, which is huge.
That's great.
Huge, so.
Okay, so certification process, walk me through it and everything. They got to certify by a certain date. They have to certify down to the weight class they intend to wrestle by the end of the year.
Yep.
They can wrestle up, but that's the lowest weight class
they can go.
It
basically gives you go in, you do the hydration test, which you pee in a cup basically.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you if you're hydrated or not, but before the process goes any further, if you're not hydrated, there's a certain threshold you have to meet. If you're not hydrated, then nothing else matters.
Okay.
But if you are hydrated, you go to the next step, which is the pinch test, skin fold, and then they test body fat, and they test three areas, and they test each area 3 times.
Mm-hmm. 3 areas of the body, like thigh, side of the waist.
It's
arm.
stomach, back, and tricep.
Okay.
And then they plug that into a system along with the weight, your body weight, and then they basically spit out a number when you can go the lowest weight you can go and when you can go that weight. So it kind of gives you a breakdown per day of how much weight you can legally lose to get down to that weight class.
And you have to track the wrestling. Is it an online system you track it through?
Yes, it's track wrestling, the OPC, and so it's it's very easy to use, and our trainer Brian's done a good job. This is his first time I think using the system, and he's done a really good job. And but it's obviously important because you want to make sure you get the guy down to the lowest weight you possibly can. Not that you have to go that way. We have a lot of guys who I want to certify weight lower probably just to have an option.
Mm-hmm.
If guys get hurt, we would they're not. They want to be. Maybe you start wrestling a lot more and they start losing weight. And they feel like they can drop down a weight. That sort of thing. So it's good to have options, Ultimately, it's up to each guy on our team what weight they want to go.
Right.
Obviously, my job is to put the most competitive team out there. So, but it looks like guys are going to be where they need to be. So.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where we're looking at. You've got 10 weight classes.
Right.
10 guys get to compete for an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament at the regionals.
Right. Yep.
Do we know where the regionals are this year yet?
Not yet. Still haven't been released, which is a little scary, but.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start with the first weight class, 125 pounds. Typically, a lot of schools have trouble with their bookends. 125, 285. It sounds as though we're not going to have any trouble with those.
With either one. No, either one. 125. We got our returning regional placer, Bailey Cooper, really came in on the end of the year. He's a sophomore this year. He, in fact, I believe he's certified at 25 already, so he's good to go. We have some little bit of depth there too with some young guys, which we didn't have a lot of depth last year. This year we have 3 guys. We have a sophomore, Brett Binnix. We have 25. Then we have Justin Zimmerman's little brother, Logan Zimmerman's a freshman here. So and then we got Enrique Gonzalez. So we have 3, another freshman.
Okay.
So we have, and those guys are all smaller 25-pounders. So they'll be there for a while, which is good.
So you're loaded at the lighter weights.
Yeah. We have depth for sure.
Next weight class, 133.
33. Probably Bobby Zefreund will be there. He's certified there, so he's going to be going there, especially the first early part of the year. Then we'll see what kind of things shake out. But I think Robert Cunningham plans on dropping down to 33 by the end of the year. Okay. I don't think he'll be there early on. I just think. For him, he's a pretty lean dude and he's pretty big, and I think it's going to take a little while for him to eventually certify or get down to 33. So
very talented wrestler. Yep. Twice has come one match from going to the NCAA tournament. Placed 4th in his freshman and junior years. So
absolutely,
this is the year for him.
Absolutely. Then we have Brett Summer, Nico Rivera. A great freshman there as well too. So we have a lot of room to play with. We have a few other guys too.
The other Zimmerman brother, Justin Zimmerman,
he's
there
25.
As well.
He's 25.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said that was Logan.
Yeah, Logan Zimmerman's at 25.
Right, what about
Justin?
Justin?
You're talking about Justin. I'm sorry. Justin's at 41.
41. Okay.
41. I don't know if he's going to certify at 33, but that might be the plan there as well too. So just to have some options. And then 41. We got a lot of guys at 41.
Sure.
And I think Robert Cunningham is going to start off there. We got Jacob Bonzier, who was a starter last year at that weight.
Christiansburg kid.
Exactly. Right. Justin Zimmerman, obviously. Amir Harper, one of our highly touted freshmen, going to be at 41 as well. And then Austin Smith, another really, really good freshman of ours. He's certified down there. I don't know if he'll go down there early on, but he plans on maybe down by the end of the year, maybe get down there as well too. See how things shake out, So
it's going to be a great weight class when you have your wrestle-offs right before the black and gold final wrestle-offs.
Right.
You have a tournament down at the YMCA.
Yeah, is that a challenge tournament? That's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of fun,
Might be the big weight class right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And things change. People go up, people go down, and people get hurt, and so we'll see how things shake out. But it should be fun.
Next weight class is 49. You have an NCAA qualifier there, Paul Biggs, who's now on staff with you as an assistant coach.
Absolutely.
What do you got taking that spot this year?
We got Colin Saunders, who kind of spot started a little bit last year for us at 41, and had some weight issues, but he's going to be back at 49. And then we also have another great freshman, Gavin Arnold from Florida, which I think is going to really push him. And like I said, Austin Smith will probably start off there at 49, and another freshman. And then we got a bunch of other guys too. I'm going to miss a few guys, so I don't want to. We got a lot of good guys that weight too. So I'm pretty confident in that weight. Obviously Paul Biggs is gonna be hard to fill. I think anytime a guy plays twice at regionals, national qualifier, made the regional finals, scored some points versus nationals, that's hard to replace. Sure. But I think we'll shore that weight up pretty good.
All right, speaking of nationals, next weight class up, 157 pounds. Logan Meister, who's been in the NCAA tournament twice, All-American, Ferrum's first ever All-American last year. Talk a little bit about that weight class, what he has behind him, challenging him.
Yeah, he's obviously that's probably gonna be his weight. 57. But we got Austin Renshaw from Tennessee, another great freshman at 57 as well. And then we obviously we'll have a few other guys there as well too. But obviously Logan stands out, just being a return All-American academic guy. So. Our senior class I'm really excited about because this is our first true senior class, I guess, as a program, and there's a lot of good kids in there. So
we'll talk about those seniors in a few minutes. I want to touch bases on that as far as the first class and everything.
Yep.
Let's move on up to 165. We're getting into the second half of the weight classes.
Right. Yeah. We got a slew of guys there that are going to compete. Mark Allen, who's been with us for 2 years now. He's a junior for us. Brings some experience. Had a great summer, has a great fall, it looks like, coming in shape. And then Andrew Tolbert, who's going to certify at 57 probably, but he'll probably go 65 to start off.
Hard to believe we're talking about that kid at 165. I remember when you brought him in here 2 years ago for his recruiting visit, and I met him outside my office, and you said he was going to be a potential 125.
Things changed.
Couldn't make 125, 33, or 41, and next thing you know, he was wrestling.
I think he's certified at 41, but then he wrestled 49, and then eventually he won a tournament at 57.
I know, so it's pretty neat, and he's really developed. He's grown.
Absolutely. He's committed to the weight room. He's worked really hard. You could tell just by looking at him.
Sure.
He's put the time in, which is important. And so he's going to definitely challenge for that 165 spot. So,
great.
And then 74, we got a bunch of guys too. Obviously, the one that stands out probably right now is Blake Rosenbaum, just returning. Had a great freshman year, and kind of didn't finish up real strong. But freshmen sometimes, they kind of at the end of the year they're just kind of worn out. And I think Blake knows what to expect now, and I think he's going to be in better shape this year than he was last year. So just as far as doing the things, even though he's not cutting a lot of weight, doing the right things as far as putting the right stuff in his body and all that's important. Just because you're not cutting weight doesn't mean you can put garbage in your body.
Sure, and I know that's a challenge for students sometimes when you're in college. You go to the cafeteria, you have typical cafeteria food. We do have a salad bar there, but sometimes when you get out of practice, you go look at that hamburgers and the cheeseburgers versus the salad bar, and the instincts take over and you start getting into that.
I think Blake realized that. No, I think his eyes got opened a little bit, but what he needs to do to not be a national qualifier. We're thinking big picture. We're thinking All-Americans, and that's what we got to be thinking about. And I think we're at a point in our program where we should be thinking about that now, and not just being in the lineup.
And he seems like he's bought into that. He seems like he's not just saying, I want to go to the NCAA tournament. He's talking about, I want to be on the podium.
Exactly, which is important. So thinking the big picture, that's important. So 84, obviously, you know, Adam Bresson and Hunter Goulart switch weights. So Adam Bresson is going to be at 84 for us. Then we also have a freshman. We're kind of light at 84. It's kind of a weight we're attacking recruiting wise.
Okay.
But then we have also Tristan Bonds down there. Tristan is probably a small 84 pounder this year. But I expect big things out of him. Out of Grundy, Virginia, the freshman,
okay.
One of the good freshmen we have
and
as
that's
well.
a great wrestling program down
Absolutely.
there.
Yep, absolutely. And then then obviously 97, Goulart's gonna go 97. I think he'll be pushed by Tyreek Nolan, who's going to drop
down
from heavyweight. Yeah,
it's an interesting situation you have there.
Right.
You have your 84 pounder coming up to 97. You have a backup at 285 who went to a tournament last year and won the 235 pound weight class. The Builder Open looked very tough, and you have him coming down. Both going to meet head to head 97. I would imagine that the final wrestle-offs and everything are going to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely, yep. And then we got a couple other young guys there as well too that are going to that are add some depth. Probably a year or two away from really helping us out, but yeah, I'm excited to see those two wrestle off. Tyreek's done a good job of trimming his body down, and Hunter's done a good job. Yeah, and Hunter's done a good job of bulking up, the right way, not just getting fatter, but actually putting on muscle. And
oh no, he's a man boy.
Yep, I think that'll be one of the most fun weight classes to watch, to be honest with you, as far as the year goes along and develops.
Okay.
And then heavyweight, obviously, Tate Delaney is probably the favorite right now, just for the fact that he's a two-time regional placer, and I think if he would have made nationals last year, he would have been on the podium. A couple guys the guy he lost to in triple overtime from Gettysburg and taken fourth in the country. And in fact, all three of our guys that finished ahead of Tate at the regional were all Americans. So both the first and second guy are back. So it's going to be competitive. And but I think Tate's we really focused on Tate. Tate kind of trimming down this summer. So he trimmed down a little bit. It felt like he was carrying too much weight last year and. Couldn't maybe attack as much, got a little tired a little quicker, and so I think he's done it better. It looks good. It looks like he's trimmed down a lot over the summer, which is good.
All right, earlier we mentioned about talking about the seniors.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the senior class. You've got these guys that came in together. They weren't here the first year we had wrestling. Biggs was here the first year we had wrestling. He's the first guy to get through the four years of the program, but his first year it was a club program.
Yep.
This is the first group of guys, the seniors. You've got Robert Cunningham at 33 or 41. You've got Justin Zimmerman at 33 or 41. You've got Logan Meister at 157, and you got Tate Delaney at 285. A lot of people would be pretty thrilled to have those four guys somewhere in their lineup. And
Absolutely.
You've got to be pretty happy to have those guys, not so much just in your lineup, but part of your program to give a history of where they've been, how far they've come.
Yep, absolutely. And they provide leadership too. They've been through the process for 3 years. They understand what it takes, and hopefully they can guide the young guys along as well too, because because my job is obviously to look after the program long term, and they're focused on this year. So I think you try to get those guys because they're all hard workers, they're all good kids, and I think that's what I would look for. Those are the four guys we look for in the program. When we go out and recruit, that's ultimately what we look for. Those guys, what they've done, they're as much a part of building this program as anybody. Those guys, those four guys, they were the first, first real true recruiting class.
4-year guys,
Yep, and 4-year guys, and I think that's, it's just so important. We're gonna miss those guys next year.
Sure.
Those guys are gonna be hard to replace, all four of them.
So it's a double-edged sword when you're recruiting for those kids. I coached wrestling back up in New Hampshire a number of years back, and it's when you're trying to replace a kid like that, it's obviously a really, really hard job. But you also have the ability to go ahead and tell recruits that, I'm looking for somebody to replace an All-American or a national qualifier. I'm looking for somebody to replace these guys. Are you that guy? Come here and show us what you have.
Absolutely. We sell that, and I tell guys all the time, I want somebody that's going to push this guy, to beat him. Maybe I want guys to, I want recruits to come in like, hey, I want to beat Logan Meister because I want to be the starter. And it seems cutthroat, but just because you're a senior doesn't mean you're going to start. You're going to have to earn it. You know what I mean? And I think, and every year you're going to have to earn it. That's the thing. But I think every program that I've been a part of, that's the way things work. And I think it makes everybody better. And I think so. Those four guys, they're probably the favorite right now. But they're by no means the definite starters. They have to earn it. And they got experience on their side, which is always good. And but no, those guys are pretty. They're pretty important. Man, by the time it's all said and done, all those guys are going to contribute a lot of wins over the last 4 years. We'll have to sit down and figure that out after the season.
Yeah.
That's always hard to replace. I don't care.
And they're great kids too.
Right, yep.
I've seen athletes come and go. I've been here for 25 years, and I've seen a lot of athletes come and go over the years, and they're four of the best people I've seen.
Yep.
They're just good guys as well as good wrestlers and good team members.
Good people. That's something that's important. They're all good people, and yeah, we're going to miss those guys for sure. But we still got a whole another year with them, so hopefully we can do big things.
Let's wrap up a couple other things real quick here, Coach. New coaches. You've got two new coaches. Ryan Riggs, your assistant coach. He's doubling up. He's taking the women's wrestling team as an interim coach for the year. He's got a big roster this year. They went from having the smallest roster on campus of 2 wrestlers at the end of the year to the largest women's roster with 24 to open the year here. So you've got to be pretty excited about the fact that we were able to get that number, those numbers.
Ryan's cut from the kind of the same cloth as I am. He's just a worker. What I mean? He's not afraid to work. He's not afraid to be in the office till 11 o'clock at night some nights, if that's what it requires, to be successful. And he's willing to sacrifice. And I think he'll do a great job with the women's side of it. He's also on the men's side. He's kind of the head of our training, and on top of that, he's also helps out, does a lot with the recruiting, and then also going to be our camp coordinator as well too. So
it looks like administratively he's very good with that as well. Every time I need something paperwork wise and everything, it seems like it's coming through the emails real quick.
He may even be better than I am at that.
Possibly.
Yeah, he's better than I am.
Talk about a little bit about Paul Biggs.
Coming
in. How's things with him wearing the whistle? We're bringing on the other side of the whistle now.
Right. I mean, he's done so far. He's done an awesome job. Awesome job. He's also the head cross country coach as well too, and
doubling up there, burning the candle at both ends.
Yep, exactly. And but he's another guy. I mean, I think him being with Ryan really helps him out because I think it helps him understand what it entails to be a coach.
Sure.
Obviously he's a young guy, what I mean, and I got a family, so it's hard for me to really, I guess, mentor somebody, a lot. I kind of, when I hire somebody, I expect them to kind of figure out on the job a little bit, and maybe that's not fair, I don't know, but, unfortunately I don't have the time to kind of really bring somebody along, and I think Ryan's done a really good job of kind of letting them know what it entails to be a coach, and how unselfish you have to be. Not to be selfish, he does a really good job. And Paul's the type of dude that had to learn how to wrestle. He wasn't naturally gifted. So, man, I think those guys make the best coaches because they really understand wrestling. They understand the work you got to put in, and then obviously it's easier to translate to the guys on the team.
Well, what I see from Paul as well is that with him picking up cross country as a secondary responsibility, it seems to me as though he's picking up a lot of skills. He's got his paperwork done. He's always over here. We're catching up on paperwork and everything. He just seems like that's got to be something that's got to transfer over into wrestling to helping you out with some of the off the mat stuff and everything that nobody wants to deal with.
Yep, absolutely.
Coming over in here and dealing with paperwork, dealing with the sports information director, dealing with the compliance guy, especially when that same guy is one guy. But that seems to me as though that's probably going to help him, which will help you.
Absolutely. Ultimately, it opens up so many more things that I can do. Because I don't have to. I can I trust those guys who run the workouts. I trust them, and not to say I don't run the workouts because I do run a good share of them. But I trust that they can handle that part of it, and I can focus more on be honest, recruiting and fundraising. Because as a head coach, you got to focus on those things.
Absolutely, very important.
We have huge ambitions, so to take that costs money. So we have to be able to fundraise and bring in some extra dollars. So
get some donors out there and donor support too.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so we're talking about workouts. You're in your preseason workouts now, doing strength and conditioning. You get those guys certified as strength and conditioning coaches, so they're able to work with the team. Your official practices open up. What was it, October 10th?
Yep.
You've got to be excited about that date hitting and everything. First practice when everybody gets in the room and all of a sudden everything gets ramped up. First, it's like, all right, this is official now. Our season has begun. Are you starting to get towards that point where you can tell the guys?
Absolutely. But our numbers are a little high still right now. I thought they would waver off a little bit as far as obviously we move some guys that just aren't ready for this for the varsity team, moving to the club program. And we're still kind of working through some guys. 32 is usually what we can house in our room. So we're probably at 38 right now. So there's some guys that we're going to have to probably, they may do it themselves, eventually move to the club team. But overall, I think the guys are ready. I mean, running gets old, so I think they're tired of probably running and lifting and stuff.
Everybody wants to get on the mat and start wrestling and everything, so that's pretty good. All right, let's talk one more thing. Black and gold. That's your final. You talked about the challenge tournament. That's on Thursday, October 27th or 8th, something like that.
Yep.
And then Friday you'll have your final wrestle-off.
Black and gold match.
You'll be doing that in the stadium this year.
That's going to be awesome.
Under the lights, we've got the new Adams Stadium has the field turf, has the lights, so everything will happen at, what time is that going to happen that night?
I think 7 p.m. is when we start, so it might be a little
Okay.
chilly, but it's going to be a great event, I think. You know,
Homecoming weekend.
Yep.
There's nothing else going that evening, athletics-wise, so it'll be the only show in town. So
Exactly.
we're hoping to put a lot of people. So folks, if you're not doing anything, Friday, October 28th, I guess it is, come on over to WB Adams Stadium at Ferrum College and see the black and gold final wrestle-off. You'll have an opportunity to see who will be the starters at the beginning of the season at least, and possibly some women's or
Yeah, we're gonna have some couple
matches.
exhibition matches. Yeah, and then then the next day is obviously the homecoming football game.
Sure.
Before that, at noon, we're gonna have we're having a big homecoming tailgate.
Nice.
And we'll cook out. You know, have a couple tents set up. Even looking into getting like a satellite TV. We can watch
Sure.
other football games and stuff. So it should be a pretty fun event.
So any of you recent alumni and some of the alumni that were back in the club program back in the 80s and everything, come on back. Feel free to come on, join the wrestling team.
Any
meet-
fan,
meet
too.
the new guys,
Yeah,
anybody,
absolutely.
you know,
Yep,
yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
So,
But-
well, Nate, we're real excited about the season. We'll get you back on here maybe a couple days after maybe in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
So get past your first day of practice and everything, and
Yep.
we'll get you back on the show and maybe bring either Biggs or Riggs.
Maybe we'll do a senior class.
Yeah, bring a couple of those guys in
Yep.
and everything, have them in here as well.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, Gary.
Great, great. Well, Nate, thanks so much. Folks, thanks for being with us. This has been Ferrum Wrestling 411. I'm your host, Gary Holden. For Nate Yetzer, thanks for being with us and have a great weekend.